I'm Colin Budney, the host of Barstool Backstage and the lead singer of the band Foxtrot and the Get Down, and this is The Co-Write, a series dedicated to the ins and outs of songwriting, taking artists and their hit songs from the inception, the early demos, all the way to the final products. For the first episode, we're going to be meeting up with my boy, Joe P. at Atlantic Records. Enough talking, let's go.
My name is Joe P. I'm from Asbury Park, New Jersey, and I am a musician, I guess, for a living. Pre-pandemic, I was in a band called Deal Casino. One thing led to another where it came down to just being me. I kind of started to just make music in my basement in New Jersey and obviously used TikTok because there was nothing else to do, no shows. People caught on to it. And I think record labels also had nothing else to pull from but TikTok and social media. Neon Gold, actually, this boutique label that's kind of a part of Atlantic, found me on there. I signed with them for an EP and then it kind of got bumped up to Atlantic and now we're in the studio using their stuff for free. When I started this solo project, I had to literally start, a new account for like Spotify and TikTok and everything. And after posting this little snippet of me singing off my mind in my kitchen, that was the first thing that people kind of caught on to. And I was looking and it was like, I don't know the number exactly, but I would say, I remember seeing it said 1 million or 2 million or something like that for the views. The likes were, a couple 100,000. And I'd never done anything like that before where I'm looking at my phone seeing notifications that aren't just like my friends and my parents. And then the Spotify started going up every week. I would look and it was, as the TikTok did well, so did the Spotify, and it just kept growing.
All right, so let's dive into the song. Now, we're going to get into the original demo, but the first thing I want to do is for those who aren't familiar with the song, Can we just give a little taste of the full finished product?
Sure.
Let it rip.
I still put my hand around the headrest in my Honda Accord. There to hold on to the wheel while I let go anymore. You're every car that passes by, every blonde hair in the corner of my eye. But now you're off my mind. I can't believe what they're saying. You don't live in Jersey anymore.
All right, cut it. Was this a TikTok originally?
I don't. Probably. I have so many like versions of it. I actually have really old, I'll send them to you after this. I have old Instagram stories of like the moment I came up with it, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. in like my room at a house I don't even live in anymore. So
wow.
Yeah, it's like the very beginnings of it. So right. I got to pull this up my archives.
Give me one of the OG demos right here.
Okay, Brad.
Let it rip.
I used to wonder why you never said goodbye.
That's crazy.
The vocal run. Oh,
that's crazy. Yeah, you can hear like cars driving by.
I know I say this, but I hate you so much.
Dude, yeah, that's your go-to.
This is my thing with you as a songwriter, right? Your top lines are always incredible. Did you start this with that as an idea or was it the hook?
I definitely started with while you go get another drink.
Yeah.
I think I started with that because the off my mind thing was what got me.
Yeah.
Maybe like, oh, that's a cool idea.
Yep.
Definitely the thing that like grabbed my attention. Because when you're writing a song, I feel like you are trying to trick yourself into being a listener. Like
yes.
The spark, when people always talk about, oh, that spark I had, that little idea, I think is the moment you tricked yourself into being on the outside of yourself and hearing it and going, oh, that's good.
Did you know where it was going? Or was this just kind of like, see where this journey takes us? Did you have an idea of where the song would lead? Or was it like, I'm going to get this catchy thing to catch you off the rip and build it from there?
I think I had the classic like folk approach to it.
Yeah.
Which is like when you have a good idea on a guitar and a vocal, if you can keep it there, and like it still works, it's great because I always get afraid to try things.
Right.
Like let me try adding in a bass guitar, whatever. Because as soon as you do, you'll never unhear that version of it.
Yes.
Where the acoustic, the world is still wide open. Like it's like seeing a little kid. You're like, oh, they don't know everything about how bad the world is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they still are so fresh to it. They're gonna like take in so much more. Even sometimes singing, I get very afraid because I'll start coming up with lyric ideas or melody ideas, and as soon as you do, you're creating habits that you're going to now fall into as you walk around for the next couple of weeks. Like, oh, what's that song idea I have? And you go. So I try to keep it as like what felt good, like the lightning that was striking in that moment, as long as it can be there. And then once you kind of get bored of it, that's when you start being like, all right, I'm not afraid to like push it a little. And then you get more sparks and more sparks. You know?
Well, how long until the chorus came into play when you're going through your demoing?
Oh yeah. I think that might have been a Frankenstein thing.
Really? Was that a piece of another song?
I think it was a piece of another
Really?
song. It was probably just another spark that I found in my voice memos. And I was like, these both work.
Well, like an old piece of songwriting advice we've got from a lot of people on this podcast being like, save everything you do. Because if it might not work for one song, it might be perfect for a different one.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think it's funny that it almost works out better that way because artists and songwriters, or me anyway, I'm always so much better at coming up with little ideas than trying to finish ideas. So if you can just do that and have these little ideas that you don't finish, maybe they are the finishing touch to something else.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel too bad about like, oh, I got to finish that idea. It's like, maybe not. Maybe it's not meant to be like worked on.
Well, I think that also goes back into kind of the way that you've been marketing yourself and an avenue that you've used really well, which is TikTok.
Yeah.
And especially like a song like this and the snippets and the opening lyrics that just catch people.
Right.
The vodka soda line is instantaneously like attainable for everybody who's listening.
Yeah.
So when you're getting feedback online from different people, do you have to actively stop yourself from writing like TikTok songs?
No, I'm pretty good at not doing that. As far as I'll go with that is I'll know when like to do verse 1 or verse 2. Because verse 2 is only good if you just felt what the chorus said.
Yeah.
And so I'll be like, let's not do that one. I want to do the other one. And I'll do verse 1 where it's like, well, you go get another drink. It's immediate. Like people could see that from square one and it's like a movie trailer. Like, it's like, oh, cool. Rather than showing the middle of the movie and like, if you don't know who that character is, you're not going to understand why they're crying.
When going through your demos for this, did you have extra verses or had you written more for this than you had used?
I think I had a lot of different like versions of it. I was like, should it be fast? Should it be slow? And it was my first thing on TikTok, that is, where like comment sections were starting to like not affect me in that way where I'm like, oh, I need to listen to everyone. Because I knew that was wrong. I knew that if I saw someone say like, oh, make it the acoustic version, whatever, I knew that that's like your job as an artist is to like not listen to people in the crowd. That would be insane.
Let's go to the top of the final version.
Okay.
And start from there.
Okay.
Because I have questions.
While you go get another drink, I think I'll ways to tell you I'm fine. One more vodka soda and you'll never even know that I'm lying.
You really did stay true.
What, the
to the demo. You stayed true to the demo.
I sped it up though.
Oh, yeah.
You never said goodbye, but now you're off my mind.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So here's a question I have for you. Off the rip, your differentiation between your verse 1, the intro, to the second verse, you're not introducing the band necessarily.
No.
You're adding ear candy.
I used to come in with, it used to go, but now you're off my...
Oh, you did run into a pocket.
That was the first way I had it. And then Chris, like who plays drums and everything, was talking to me and he was like, what if drums didn't hit there, but some kind of thing hit? Because you have the acoustics hitting,
right? And
that is, their acoustic guitars are so percussive and so rhythmic that you can imply so much with them. So I added in knee slaps and like hit my acoustic guitar like a drum.
Let me hear this.
Yeah, so when it comes back in here,
but now you're off my mind.
It's like barely there.
Oh, you don't even realize that until it's soloed out.
I know there's this. So I went for like a Beatles White Album. Like,
yes.
Let's do less like big drums coming in because you want to save it. The thing is, as soon as you add something in, just like writing a song, you'll never unhear that.
Yes.
So if you give people, it's like when you see a band play, and after doing this headlining tour that I did, like I've seen so many bands headline where they come out to the movie trailer, like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, as soon as you start your first song, it's going to sound less than that.
Yes.
Because you can't beat like a big sub bass and like this, everyone's walking out.
You're walking out to Mozart, like Blink 182.
Right. You look like, right. It looks, so I was like, if whatever we do, I want to keep it thinner. Because when the first time you hear a kick drum, that's huge because you didn't get any of that low end yet. So it's a lot of like, that's kind of how I treated this, was like, I want to ramp up. A lot of times when I run into weird structural things with songs, it's because the song, once you get enough of the song moving, it kind of tells you what it wants.
Yes.
And I would be like, I would do the thing that everyone would do. Like, oh, let's hit the big chorus here, drums come in, whatever. And every time I did it, it felt terrible.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it doesn't want that. So I would just listen to it and go, okay, I'll do that. And then, so there's no drums, there's no like real bass. Like that's a bass guitar I'm playing at that part. The fuzzy,
but you're high up.
But I'm high up and it's like super bendy.
That's a bass?
Yeah.
I've been wondering what that was the entire time I've been listening to this song.
Yeah, bass. It's an SG bass, so I can play up high.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But once again, that's ear candy. It's like, it's how you as a songwriter say, okay, this isn't the first verse.
Yeah.
It's the second verse.
Right.
There's something slightly different.
Yep.
Can we go through the vocal layering? Because I'm very curious as to what you did here for the.
So I did a vocoder. So I played the lead vocal when it was all done, and I just played on a keyboard. So as the vocal, the main lead vocal comes in, it's informing this keyboard what the tonality is.
What?
So
you're doing a harmony on a vocoder.
yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna do real harmonies. It felt lame. So I was like, I still want to keep it as like visually you're watching this one guy sing the song.
Yeah.
When you bring in someone else, immediately you've taken people out
I
of
feel like
that.
this is the Radiohead in you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Go to the chorus.
Yeah.
And this is where the vocals really get interesting to me.
Yeah, let's see.
This line, I'll be making toast. Cut it.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Can we just have this conversation?
Yes.
As a songwriter, I'll be making toast in the tub with all my ducks in a row wearing all of my clothes. Is there a better way to say I'm going to kill myself? Oh my
It's the
God.
happiest way. It's definitely the happiest. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those weird lines where I just like wrote it down. I was like, that's weird. And the ducks thing in the tub, it was.
But you had to have known, you had to wrote that and just said, oh, that's clever.
I think so. But usually when I do that, I'm like, no one's going to like it. Because the ones that are clever are usually the ones that I love. And I'm like, no one's going to, people will understand this, but it's almost like people don't want to know that you've been clever.
Put the camera on me. I just want to say this. Songwriters, you know how hard it is to write something cheeky and sarcastic and have it land? Like, do you realize how insane that is?
Yeah. I don't know. So to me, the chorus was like, I was going to treat it more like a verse, like we'll be better by the summer. Like that line is chorusy because of the summer thing. I was like, it was fun. You'll come out from underneath your coat. So it did feel bigger and more vague, but it's still pretty detail oriented, especially that last line, which is like every little thing laid out. That's one of the most visual lines in the song.
Yes.
And it's the chorus, which is usually not how you do that. Usually you go in the verse so that you can get away with saying nothing in the chorus.
But the thing that I've seen videos from the tour that the crowd's like, okay, now it's time. Let's go into the Honda Accord.
All right, so here's the big drum part.
I still put my hand around the headrest in my Honda Accord.
I mean, come on.
Every corner passes by. Every corner in the corner of my eye. Now you're off my mind.
Okay, so this is where we get into the excess of you. Is there like random talking and shit in there? Like
what? Let's see. I think this was me comforting my dog.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. And then there's like another line, so I moved it.
Why you lay down? What made you keep that in there?
It was just like, it was a thing to fill the gaps in between the lyrics. So it's actually placed strategically where it's like, so there's nothing happening here.
Oh my God.
So it's out of the way, the vocal.
Oh my
So it's
God.
like it's like the idea of in production, in the second verse especially, you're usually like, what's the thing that's going to keep people's attention? We need a new instrument. We need harmonies. We need a call and response thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to add any more.
ear
Like,
candy.
I don't want like a beep boop beep boop.
Yeah.
So I was like, just talking is enough to make you like feel like something's there.
So what else is going on in this verse when everything kicks in? It sounds like there's almost like this like static. It feels like almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
strings or something like that. Or,
There's a Tascam. So I made like on a crappy little Tascam cassette. I have these tapes that are just like really short. In the cassette, you would look, it's just one tiny piece of tape, so you can make loops and it'll just loop it when you hit play on a cassette recorder. I think I like strummed on a guitar, just like diddly like trills or whatever, and I cranked the speed up of it so that it made it sound not so much like a guitar. And I think when you hit play on a recorder, because it's like analog,
Yeah.
it goes like wee, so I think you might even hear the wind up. Yeah. So I'm just like, that's just playing really fast and sped up.
any of these things on their own are asinine, but together it works. Is that a different drum kit?
Yeah, there's 3 drum kits I think on this song.
You're a lunatic.
The main drum kit is this one. Just kind of big, cool, simple.
Sounds like the
drums.
beginning of Supersonic by Oasis. Just wanna point that
Very
out.
true. Yeah, they're very like Oasis-y, normal, boring drums kind of. And then this, I was like, something new.
A jazz kit.
Because it feels like you go into, this was like, we tuned up a kit and made a very 60s Motown.
Dude.
This is like the dropout part. Just like,
Yep. And now you pay it off. We get to the big part. And there it is.
that's really it. I mean, from that
That's
point
really
on,
it, is such a condescending statement to yourself. I think the beautiful thing about this is what we learned from this process
Yeah.
is that from its inception, this was a good song. And
Yeah.
no matter what you did to it and what you laid on top of it,
Right.
the bones of it still sit
It
with.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
While you go get another drink, I'll think of
Sure,
ways to tell you
sure.
I'm fine.
Right.
One more vodka soda.
Totally.
Like that to me, like it was a good song from the rip. You just happened to add the right ear candy to it and the right structure.
A lot of times it's quick, and people say, "Oh, the best stuff comes in 10 minutes and you're done," which is true because I understand that spark thing. But this was one of those like, when you hear stories about like Springsteen with like Born to Run, where he would spend 10
6 months on a snare
hours,
drum.
Then you hear the other stories of like Kurt Cobain would show up and write lyrics as he recorded.
Yeah.
Like I just think there's no right or wrong, and that's what makes it fun is that there is no like system like. Because in a way that it was similar to lifting weights, it's the complete opposite. Where you're like, if I lift this much weight today, I'll get stronger for tomorrow. It's like, nah, you might write the sickest song today, and then the next day you might be like, I have no clue what to say or do.
You might end one day looking like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The
That's
next day
right.
come in looking like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite.
Exactly. That is what it's like. It's literally like there's no point in like trying to figure yourself out. You know what I mean? And of course you get better at writing songs, but I think you get better at just kind of knowing what not to do.
Yep.
I think that's it. Like just knowing in that moment, like, oh, don't make that's the bad lyric, not a good one. Rather than like, I think that's great.
I love the knowledge that you have of the process. Like you have the notes to say, oh, this is why I did this. For other people to get to see, songs aren't made in 5 minutes all the time.
Not always,
Sometimes there is labor put in and really caring about it. And
Yeah.
as a songwriter, man, I can't thank you enough for doing what you do.
No, man, thank you for having me on this. This is great.
I still hate you,
I know.
but in like
But
a
you
loving
did
way.
say you love me. Like, so we're at 0 now.
It's love out, or it's hate out of jealousy. It's not hate out of hate. It's hate out of jealousy.
I love it. Yeah, it's hate out of love.
Thank you so much for the time, brother.
Thank you.
We're out.